Hello, everyone. Here is Andy, and welcome to the bonfire. And this is January 18, 2021, Disco Elysium, party number 3. And I'm again contemplating the starting screen because I think it's impossible to have enough of this, but well, I checked the game files. They actually have this kind of video inside. I would assume it's exactly for streamers or for those who want to loop it and watch without ending. Well, let's load the game at the point where we stopped last time. Don't be afraid to say weird things, the game says. People are more forgiving to persons of power, like police officers. Well, we incidentally are a police officer, though our character doesn't really believe this. So let's recollect what happened during the second party. We had several tasks that we completed. For example, we finally examined the body on the tree, and what's more, we actually managed to shoot it down from the tree after 2 attempts, which were unsuccessful, but I didn't want to fail that check, and eventually got it. And that was quite a conversation with Kim. There was this also super annoying child Kuno and his friend female Kuno S, whatever you pronounce that. That was a field autopsy that we performed. We also played Hobacop, trying to examine the contents of the container. There we found some papers, our damage ledger, with lots of information to interact with. I think we haven't finished this, so I would probably love to do it now as we start. So we're at the next world mural, which took 30 minutes of the game time. Let's say what the second says. Also known as Leslie and Burke, also known as the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man. Ooh. This is a reference to Planescape Torment, the game I have my tattoo from. And you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers, and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors, would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression. Couldn't we just keep them off the streets? You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition because that's where the action is. Logic says, can you keep yourself off the streets? No, wrong intonation. It's can you keep yourself off the streets? I think that's the way I should go. I'll tell just by my voice that it is logic or empathy or I almost remembered that, but let me try to recollect. Savoir-faire, I think it was savoir-faire. Yeah. So I'll indicate that it is they, my skills, or rather my in-head personalities who speak. But I won't probably change my voice because I'm not that of an voice actor yet to be able to impersonate more than 24 different characters. So let's proceed. Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hell holes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get a local gang of Zemlякis, that's again Russian, to, well, Zemlyak is a compatriot, to take them out. The Zemlyakis give them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. Well, that sounds like a Russian story, yes. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH, had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there are. On the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing? Well, Leslie was the first guy, so he is doing public indecency. Good, you're learning. Thank you. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he takes to damage, but the joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustained damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who at this point is standing to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burke. While trying to kill Burke, you slowly came round. The permeable compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burke's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the incident exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke, who knows, but both drunks are off the street. The complaint stopped, the unsolvable case is solved. +5 experience, which is also why the officer responsible, narrowly, escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one? So our character solved the case by beating the the drunkard who was exposing his genitals to the public. Not the most civilized way to solve a case, but that was done. The next case is called the Square Bullet Hole Murders. It would be very interesting to read about this, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks on her rocking chair with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape. But that's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet, and then another body showed up, and with a square hole in his forehead. A sequence killer. Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Inland Empire says, don't worry, one day. Conceptualization. One day you may still catch the man with the square gun. The fourth case called the couch in an unexpected location. Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out in the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young and they thought they looked cool in it. Well, they looked really cool, like a rock band. I would say like Creative Hub members, but okay, let it be a rock band. Yeah, and you've said here, insufferable rock and roll assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations they took it to, where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes and drank coffee because they felt it is intellectual. Experience gained. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch, you had to clean it all up. And you did. So, congratulations to you. Case solved. Did I ever catch those guys? No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next? Well, case number 5 is called Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Murder at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor. Wait, how? Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner JM, only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story and it isn't really represented in your case files. So stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor. Right? On the murder? Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve, was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Wasn't it for like a month? The captain got impatient. Should get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot, not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had. Wait, was Joseph Mills a good cop? No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor too. The worst. Oh look, this is British English. British. Oh, holy guacamole. This is British English, finally. All games are written in American. And now it's Humor. What a relief. Okay. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for a month now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. The murderer vanished into thin air. The goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about. Go on. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum flavored vapor all day. Can you get high of it? No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything. Well, I would say that I've never tried hookah. Neither have I ever intended to. And at the same time, I cannot call it either cool or stupid. So what should I do? Well, using this philosophy of going with lesser evils, it's like it looks more cool than stupid to some extent. So let's go with the first option. Yeah, really lame. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor on the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else isn't there. Only client that day. In perfect health to some kind of movie producer. No one enters, no one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. It's regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the corner did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor, you see cushions around the table, table's low, heavy, really sharp edge. So he sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table and died. See, you can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom. Well, he must have sucked a lot of it. Yeah, he liked his hookah. Steven was his name. And what was he doing there for 6 hours? Smoking hookah, didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script maybe? Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together. Next, yeah, it's 11:30 in game time, and we've read 5 cases that we had in our ledger. Now let's look at the clipboard. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. Ha! What happened with that guy who was an exhibitionist? The edges are rounded, however. The U4-sized board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters RCM. What did he say the color was? Blue. Inland Empire says, the blue heart. Don't look into it. Let's shake the ledger. Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? Logic says permeables. It's not hidden per se. That compartment is made for permeable materials that would get damaged if something happened to it. Let's peek inside. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli. But it's not see-through. You cannot see to its center. How do I open it? With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board. Okay, I have high chance of opening the hidden compartment, but 72% is 72%. It was last time when I had 92% and I failed the check, so I'll first smell the ledger. The acidic stench of rotten food has dropped off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. These base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. Let's put the... What happened? What's loading? Why is it loading? The game was kind of impatient to to show me some action, I guess, but I want to save the game and take my ledger again and do this interfacing check. Success! The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off the slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, slide the drawer open. Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. So what's inside? 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard. Ooh. What? Let's pick up the ticket stubs. 2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to a zoo in Ravachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go out. These let you go there too. Pick up the card. Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue. Well, let's smell it. It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavor. And perception says it. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti. Okay. Open it. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped round letters in a woman's hand. Visual calculus says, a young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think, although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins, you are already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Volition says, throw it away, please. But it will make me happy. Outside you hear the wind howl. A sudden gale blows in from Martinez, flapping street signs and window blinds. Well, let's keep reading. Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step on the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon when I get off the 42 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. Conceptualization says, sparks fall like snow from the bow collector, a streetcar distancing. Item lost, damaged ledger. You feel the ledger slip from your hand and let fold sideways. I fell. Why is that? What happened? I think I lost consciousness. I fainted. Probably because of some nostalgic waves. Oh? What's that? Excuse me? Again?
There is nothing.
Whoa, did I die? Really? After reading the ledger? What? Uh-huh. Okay, I'm not sure what exactly happened, but my guess is that this is the love that we were hinted about during his pre-game conversation and some other kind of hints throughout the game, and he was on the verge of a heart attack, I think. And so if we read the notes, he has kind of sudden overflow of emotions, and he not only faints, he also suffers a severe heart attack and dies. That's what my guess is. I'm not sure, but probably it's what happened. It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much. It's quite a lot to read into here, actually. Look at all that content. Yellow mug, man mug. Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed away mug that you dug out of garbage? Well, let's see what the options are. This mug is an example of prejudice. I'm going to use it as an example of what not to do. Good point. I'm going to push this into the face of every merchant I find and tell them, this is your inane ideology. And the mug will be very useful. By denouncing it, I can earn political capital to mask my badass hustling. It is fraud and embezzlement. And the mug that didn't belong in the trash, it was just a funny mug. Can't anyone laugh anymore? Well, this option 4, I usually call infantile when people say like, it's just a joke. Don't you get the joke? I mean, like, no, nothing is just is. And especially jokes are never just a joke. It's just that humor is 95% offensive always, um and people who say like, I'm just joking with you, like you don't have sense of humor, usually that's exactly the people who don't have sense of humor, because there is a possibility, there is a chance to joke without insulting anyone, and these people usually lack this possibility. That's the sad truth about humor. So yeah, option 4 is just trash. Now, this mug is an example of prejudice. I think that's the option I'll go with. It was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it, or do some volunteering work? Just finish your case, detective. Well, that has a point, but still I'd like to have it as memory. I like artifacts. Now, what about our mental cabinet, thought cabinet? Rigorous self-critique is under process, 70%. Finished. Do you have any experience points? No. Savoir-faire actually is -1 now. Woohoo! And why is that? Authority -1, that's understandable, but savoir-faire is probably because we have some kind of clumsy clothes, for example, pants and shoes. Pants because they're yellow and quite noticeable, and shoes are, well, what do you say, crocodile skin, quite ostentatious, conspicuous, I would say. Yeah, so it's understandable. Let's hear what Kim wants to say, because apparently he wants to talk. So Kim, yes?
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
Haven't paid for the cafeteria manager for damages yet. Should take care of that then, but I don't have the money. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the streets. We'll figure something out. Though he finds the situation frustrating, Empathy says he's doing his best to not make you feel any worse than you already do. I appreciate that, Kim. What? Can I find some collectible stuff here, I wonder? Apparently not. Maybe knock to this lady's door? Okay. Unfortunately. No interaction still. Probably she's beyond... she's not beyond any measure with our behavior already. Plastic bag, collect bottles and sell them at freight. I should have picked the plastic bag then. Well, I'll do that next time. Actually, how do I talk to those guys who... this lady disappeared. No, let's go to the street and then to Frit, and check if I can take the plastic bag now. I wonder. Maybe Frit is closed at this time of the day. High chances it is. But maybe it is 24/7. No, it's not 24/7. Okay, let's go back to the hostel. Oh no, we have a quest connected to the car. We need the lights of the Kinema. Yeah, Kinema. Kim, how do I turn on the headlights? Kim says he turns the preheater on, waits, takes out his keys and says, alright, ready. I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater. Empathy. He is downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage. Let's press engine start. The dashboard lights up with orange glow. Rounds per minute, gauges jump, and the engine of Coupe Kinema comes to life with a whiny growl. Press the button labeled headlights. The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle. There you go. I'll turn them off when the remote once. Sorry. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now. Okay. So I go to the car's front. Look at these shadows work. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. I might not have played lots of modern games, but the quality of shadows here is just stunning. Look at this, it's so realistic. It's so freaking realistic and oh, look at this flying piece of paper. And this one. I'm so impressed. And look, like, shadows fall on all objects, like, well, maybe not this one. But the lady is kinda affected by the shadows, so... Okay. Interfacing. As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, a shimmering iridescent pattern appears. One you've definitely seen before. Logic says. Not unlike the pattern from the racist Lori's man boots. A stylized map of Revachol. Kim says. There she is, Revachol West. There is a note of pride in the lieutenant's voice. Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations. Let's look at the shimmering street grid. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are still recognizable. They shimmer in the Kinema's headlights. Wait, look around you. You catch a faint glimmer from a broken beer bottle. In the distance, sounds. Two men engaged in a drunken argument, followed by the closing of some distant window. Martinez at night. He smells the air and says, Where are we? Where are we on this? Point to the halogen map. Let me see. He takes the ledger for a moment and inspects it. Right here, he says, his finger near the top of the map, on a segment of coast jutting out into the green ocean. Great ocean, sorry. I can say it seems nice, you can say it seems like a shithole, and I'm sure I've seen worse. Well, we heard him that Kim was quite approving of the place we're in, so let's second him. Say seems nice. Oh. Probably I miss... So it was again his sarcasm. Right, okay. Let's look at the perforations. There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. Let's tally up the different rows. The first row has 18 dots. Not bad. Not bad for what? You don't even know what it means yet. What about the next one? The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border and then some. Count them individually. Visual calculus success. You count 216 perforations. Considering that nice large number, a wave of pride washes over you, though you can't say why precisely. What about the last row? The last row has 3 perforations. 3. That's it. That's it. Hey Kim, what do all these holes mean? Point to the dots on the watermark. Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They're your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look. Rhetoric says, alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers often do. it's meant. The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered? Wait, 18 years I've done this? Or got drunk like a megastar? Or I walked land telling whores and liars of the end to come. There are 9,852 days, 55 days remaining. And I wonder why is that? Just a random number, or there is some kind of Aztec calendar? Another one. I was a hobo and I lived under a boat. Another hobo hop. Probably some boring office job, same as everyone else. I feel like I just went around apologizing all the time. Do you really think I have an idea? Sorry guys, for a second. Let's see if it is better. Well, feels better. Let's say I feel like I just went around apologizing all the time. Maybe you were a diplomat or in PR. Okay, I like this. Doesn't matter, I suppose. Let's move on, shall we? No, wait. I had a question. Okay. This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see, more than 200. 216, to be exact. Lieutenant nods with evident respect. It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 19th percentile of all RCM officer. So you're saying I used to be a super cop? Call it what you want. You were a valuable member of your percent. Now let's look at the last row. Right, those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there. So I'm a killer. For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamra quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way. Esprit de Cop. What's it feel like to kill a man, Mr. McCoy? A young woman asks the man across the desk from her. Honestly, babe, says John McCoy, crossing his ankles over said desk. I don't feel anything anymore. It's like just brushing my teeth. I do it once or twice a week and I don't really think about it. There is no trace of guilt in his voice. There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. It's obvious the lieutenant doesn't think very highly of these officers. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for. Have you ever killed anyone, Kim? Yes, he says, declining to elaborate. Empathy. It's not a problem for him to state it, however. How do you handle the strain? Everyone has their own method of coping, some more effective or self-destructive than others. He gives you a meaningful look, probably meaning our drinking, obsessive drinking. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies. Like what? Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now. Maybe I should find a hobby. Why not garden? You've already got the gloves. He points to your yellow gardening gloves. Esprit de Corps. It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab. Thanks for this. The lieutenant nods. Okay, let's go. Put the ledger away. 10 experience points. Kim says, right, I'll go turn off the lights. He presses a remote control on the key. You can now see your statistics on your journal page, right on the task description. Right off the task description. Statistics. So, name unknown, we haven't yet discovered our name, but we know that we are 0 Superstar Cop, 0 Apocalypse Cop, 5 Sorry Cop, I like this, Boring Cop 0. I am communist for 2 points, fascist for 0, ultra-liberal for 1, moralist for 2. Good cop, bad cop 4. Huh? What does it mean? Why is through a slash? Honor is 1. Kinda questionable, but fine. People killed 3. It wasn't my idea. It was prehistory before I joined the game. Cases solved 216, also not mine, and 18 years of service. Well, you can imagine that. It's been maybe 10 hours I've spent in the game, not more. So, damaged ledger, sleeping dog worker, handman, trash container, and mirror. Tasks that are active are quite a lot. Can I talk to Kim about...
Yes?
I want to talk about you. Kim, you were wearing a Revolutionary Air Brigade jacket, aren't you? You are wearing. What, this? He zips up the large collar. It's just seasonal clothing. And those look like airman pants, good for storing tools in. He looks at his pants. Where is this going? You see, Kim, I have this place in my head. Point to your head. Where I develop new ideas and connections. Interesting. I think it's called a brain. Conceptualization. It's no mere brain. No. Normal people don't have this. It's like a mind laboratory, a spiritual R&D division. No. A palette. No, better yet, a painter's atelier of concepts. Okay, Art Cop. We don't have this on our statistics. Art Cop, that is what I would definitely be. Sorry Art Cop, or Art Sorry Cop. Okay, indeed, and in this atelier I have realized that you harbor some kind of sentiment toward the Revolutionary Air Brigades. I do not harbor a sentiment for Revolutionary Air Brigades in particular. Just Air Brigades then? 5 experience. Okay, I wanted to become an aerostatic pilot. Then I turned 10 and realized we no longer have an Air Force. Are you sure the Revolutionary has got nothing to do with this? Absolutely nothing, Kim says. And Drama chimes in. The Revolutionary must have added a little luster to it for 10-year-old Kitsuragi. He will never admit it though. Absolutely nothing. I've noticed, and okay. The Revolution employed a more forward-looking 8-rotor design. Their blades were foldable and their pilots were better trained and motivated. He corrects his losses. I say this from a purely tactical standpoint, of course. Empathy. It's not from a purely tactical standpoint. We are not ruling out that the lieutenant had a little rebel phase in that past of his. Thank you. My mind is satisfied. Point to your head again. Good. He glances impatiently at his electronic wristwatch. What about the secret? Okay. Then you don't look like other people. Okay. Do you ever talk with yourself? Nothing here. Yeah, nothing here. Old school. Can see my notebook. Yeah. Conclude. You seem to be following me. Excuse me, nothing, just an observation. Let's go. Tell me about the case again. And I can't remember anything. Okay, forget it. So there are no more options in the conversation, which is strange. Maybe it's because we haven't talked to the manager yet, and we should before something considerable happens to the plot. Well, can we talk to anyone here? This man here? Not talkable. Alright, this man is also not interactable. What a pity. Oh, there's a lady here. Not interactable. Right. This man here, also not. Manager?
Can I help you?
Here's the trash container key. Thanks, I hope you found what you were looking for. I found the victim's clothes. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. Who else has keys to the trash container? The trash collection service? CS Municipal? I don't see why they would put anything in the trash though. Kim says, oh, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threads that solves itself down the road. He turns to the man. Thank you anyway. Could someone on your staff have put them there? Sylvie had the keys before I got here and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my stuff. None of us would tamper with a crime scene. And I'm kinda not sure about risking saying the first thing about that he doesn't remember putting it there, because I don't want to spoil our relationship to, like, complete zero. Let's say thanks, let's talk about something else. About money I owe. I was wondering if we could come to some sort of arrangement for tonight. He says, does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me? Kim is about to say something, let him. He adjusts his glasses. I understand your predicament as the manager, however, I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation that also affects your business. Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more committed to drinking and... He stops mid-sentence. Authority. He shrinks back a bit under the lieutenant's severe gaze. I mean, no offense, it's really nothing personal, I just have to protect the interests of this establishment. This conversation isn't going anywhere, is it? Or I can say, hold on, I still have my key, you know? What does it mean? Like, am I intimidating him with the first option? Looks like that, so I'll go with the second. Not until you bring me the money. Okay, he turns to you with a heavy sigh. I might have something... Oh, sorry, I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here. Esprit de corps. I really didn't want to resort to this, the man is thinking. Oh, Lieutenant, we are done here. So, but money, I was wondering... It's... cold out. I'll pay you back tomorrow. I'm an honest cop. What if I don't pay tomorrow? What if I don't pay tomorrow? What will happen? Let's go with the third one. What about what I've been through, huh? You're not the goddamn protagonist of the story. Well, actually, I am. I am. Ah, okay. What about that what I've been through, huh? You're not the goddamn protagonist of the story. I am. This is my hostel cafeteria and I need my money. Conceptualization. Literally demotion. That's the worst. Literary demotion. Hold on, I still have my key, you know? What if I say this? Good luck trying to use it. He taps his foot against the metal box installed on the back of the counter. All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a master key before your guest key will open the lock. Well, the conversation isn't going anywhere. Let's try other options. For example, what if I say it's cold out? I'll freeze to death because I'm losing the stupid money game. Game? Everything is just a game too, isn't it? Okay, going anywhere. And, well, for the sake of the gamble, let's say I'll pay you back tomorrow. I'm an honest cop. As a police officer, you must understand that I cannot take you at your word without evidence. He pauses, realizing the contradiction in his statement. Evidence being money. You can't stay here without money. Right, so we have to sleep somewhere in the street. So Kim, what do you say?
Yes?
Nothing yet. Let's go to his car, to his Kinema again. His car is definitely the most important quest place in the whole game yet. And it's midnight. 3 minutes past midnight. Where is his car, by the way? I took the wrong turn. So, what's that? Look in the suspect transport enclosure. Have something here we could sell. Look in the back in the suspect transport enclosure. Okay. The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are stacked against the seat. The silver edges sparkle in the dark. I confiscated these 4 a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal. What are those things? What do you mean you confiscated them? You said something about a pawn shop. Thanks, I appreciate your help. You said, what are those things? They are spinner hubcaps, frivolous things you put on your wheels. When the wheels come to a shop, he makes a spinning motion with his hands. The caps keep on spinning. There's no real use for them, it's just for vanity. A vanity he wouldn't mind. What do you mean you confiscated them? A couple weeks ago I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Slower. Turns out he was some coalition official's son, and high. So you took his spinners. He nods. I took them and arrested him for driving under the influence. Isn't it corruption? I don't know, is it? The lieutenant looks back, stone-faced. I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back. Did you want to put these spinners on your machine? No, that would be silly. He hesitates. I don't know why I kept them, it doesn't matter. Couldn't put them on this MC anyway. A cop with spinners, that would be outrageous. Well, I don't think that putting these spinners would be a good idea if they're confiscated. So let's just nod. The spinners shine so bright they reflect on the lieutenant's glasses. He doesn't say anything either. You said something about a pawn shop. Yeah, there is one 100 meters south of here. I think it's called Roy's Nest or something. If I'm not mistaken, it should be open late. Items that can be pawned at Bird's Nest Roy's appear in your inventory under the Items tab. You can pawn these items when talking to Roy. Sorry, I can't take them. It wouldn't be right. Let's not take the spinners. Alright, let's not take them now. They come back once we realize we have to have this conversation again, then take them. Sounds likely. Tap on the fuel preheater gauge. As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if started. It's in the large orange sector indicating the engine is warm. Next to the gauge is a red switch labeled heat. Now, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they're mesmerizing, they're also fragile. I'm going to turn it on for you again. So, what are we about to do now? Like, we have no money, we are in the street. I don't actually understand our, well, our whatever, our chances. There's a person here. I haven't actually explored the map completely, so let's have a look around. And I have a suspicion that if I take the flashlight, it's gonna work kinda there's so much to explore. Okay, what does it say? Let's look at. There is a girl up there. Did she spill the paint? A girl there. Okay. I see. Hey up there, pig. Inside the frame of motorcycle repair and deal size, disassemble it. Campsite apartments. And Rue de Saint-Gislain. Roundabout, no. There is a door. There is a container here, which is locked. Excuse me, why is it locked if I have a pry bar? Can I not open it with a pry bar? Yeah, I can. I can. So I have to have this pry bar all the time. That's the point, I guess. Looks like there was more construction here once decades ago. What's inside here? Magnesium. The belly of this boat shines like it was recently painted. Cool. This says token reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Gislain, 33A. Now this says your room in the Berlin isn't much bigger than this sloop. This is worth more than you'll ever earn in your life. Well, this is kinda... oh, sorry, something is happening. Shadows on the water, green plants under the calm surface. Nice. Can I talk to this guy? Joyce Messier. The striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets, a silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good evening, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
She steps closer and holds out her hand over the railing. Let's shake her hand first of all.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
So he opens his notebook. Empathy. There's a trace of irony in his voice, mischief even. The lieutenant is hatching some scheme.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
She turns to you unfazed. Suggestion. It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful. Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do? I somehow don't want to joke with her. What we do, I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole, it's a giant undertaking. There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent. So what do they do? The Pine's core competency is logistics, container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. She points to the small dots on the horizon. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. Then to the east, toward the harbor, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms. Encyclopedia says the Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo tribes, companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo tribes remain. And who are the other Indo tribes? Saint Baptiste, LUM, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star. You are in good company, it seems. Why, thank you. She doesn't register the real meaning of the remark. How much money does Wild Pines have? This is impolite to ask, so let's say, got it, tell me something else. I have trouble, I'm trying to be a nice person here, which probably slightly incapacitates me, but hopefully not much. Can you tell me about this strike? Everything? What can you tell me? Everything, she smiles, right up to, but not including, trade secrets. Wait, what if I want to hear about trade secrets? First, you'd have to repeal the Emergency Act of Trade and Alliance that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. Octopus, I'll slay it. How do I repeal it, then? Or wouldn't want to disturb an octopus. Better let it be. Yeah, that's the option I'd like to go with. I'm glad you see it that way. To repeal that act would mean repealing the coalition government, one that leases you the right to police West Revachol. Logic. You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words. Leave it alone. But I'm derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. What is your role in this, precisely? I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer. And how are the talks going? Asks Kim. Joyce answers, they're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There is a 220-meter racist behemoth blocking the gates. Oh, you mean Measurehead? Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead. She leans back and rolls her eyes. How were the talks going before the lynching? Let's say I wasn't making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived. And when did you first arrive? Asks Kim. Joyce answers, I arrived 3 weeks ago, she thinks. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM. He looks at his notes. But the strike began in December. I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over Mr. Gonmont, hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont, despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiation. That this isn't the first time the union has gone on strike? Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. Rhetoric says, ludicrous even, it's meant. What happened to this Gaumont? Mr. Clare told him, how did he put it, she pauses to compose herself. Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Not cool. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before and who was more than fair with him and the union. Authority. Sounds like usual aggressive posturing. What are their demands? There are leaflets everywhere and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker member of the board. Logic. Most of the workers probably don't know what that means. And now we can react. I like it, I don't know what to think about that. Over-aggressive comic posturing. Seems like they have no idea about business, or we get it, we want to talk about something else. No, I think they seem to have no idea about business. In his defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker member of the board. Most of them probably don't know what that means. Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they're also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. The king's dead, long live the workers. Workers can't be kings, the king's king. That's pretty funny, I have to admit. Let's say that's funny. They're having a blast, but how can they afford? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution. And so, what are you going to do? I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery, but there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now people are getting lynched, I hear, behind the whirling in rags, a disastrous situation if there ever was one. Excuse me, the lieutenant looks up from his notes. From whom did you hear about this lynching? Joyce says. Her reply comes quick. I first heard it from the boy at the gates, the one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, call me manana. Call me manana. Logic chimes in. No, wait. The chief negotiator heard it from a man at the gates. Surely the Wild Pines group has more effective channels of information. After all, 2,200 people are on strike. This is a big deal for them. The scabs at the gate, did you put them there? The scabs? She raises her brow. You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock come to plead for work where the union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I couldn't share it with you, and not right now at least. Rhetoric. It's implied she's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion. Tell me about this union boss, Mr. Clare. Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, is that he always puts his interests, the interest of the workers first. Really? Oh, of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, vicious goo where you and I have blood. Is it that bad? He is the most corrupt individual I've ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Wait, there are two of him? Yes. Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does. And when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. What about the union itself outside the Brothers Clare? The Debardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. Must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. She adjusts her hair. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into, how do you say, She hesitates, looking for the right expression. A mob, the lieutenant says succinctly. The Debardier are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be faced to cooperate with them. Refreshingly honest, officer, she nods. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. She turns to you. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm curious and talkative person, you see, she explains. Would you say the Debardier Union is, have no idea, I've spent 10 hours here. Like, why asking me? Well, apparently it's a leech, as far as I can judge from what she says. Indeed, and a hungry one, she notes. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers. One more thing. You said something happened in the elections. 5 points of experience gained. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the union. She disappeared. Disappeared? Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work, ever. End of story. Eerie. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you are dealing with them. With him. With them, also. Kim says, thank you for your concern, ma'am. It'll be just fine. Maybe, maybe not. You, Kim, should, well... My chances were 42%. His chances were probably less. That's all I need here. Let's change the topic. From this standpoint... Oh, she has a thermal cup between her gloved hands. How else can I help, she asks. And now, from this conversation that we've had so far, I think saying you're in a boat wasn't that sarcastic or ironic or whatever, humorous. It's actually just a question. Yes, why? Why, yes I am. She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flat overhead. Does she have a name? The boat? No. It is called Cordelate or Cordelite 19 because that's the type of sloop it is. Inland Empire. The word it feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name. Cool, but your boat really needs a name. Okay, how about Cordelite 19? Why? She taps on the side of the boat. It makes a hollow sound. Because it was manufactured in Havisham East by a company called Cordelite, and its hull is 19 paces long. Conceptualization. She makes a point of being unromantic about it. How about Dolores, like the Cranberries singer, or how about the X something? How about the Slick Fish? It's like, no. Recently I learned that Plunder from Ariel, the cartoon, actually has a translation. Well, for those who are native speakers, of course, that's something like very obvious, but for me it was a revelation, and so I was flabbergasted, and that it was actually a fish, and at the same time it had some kind of meaning as a verb also, and yeah, so I was quite astonished. So what about Dolores? Why Dolores? I just like the name for some reason. Well, it means nothing to me. I think I'll stick with the factory name, but thank you for the suggestion. Okay, but what kind of boat is it? It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. Also happens to be rated for category 1 racing, though these days I mainly use it for business. How do you like it? My sloop, I like it a lot. Her lips curl into a wry smile. It's the Il's hips, baby. Kim says, I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we are investigating. Kim, come on. Esprit de Corps says, I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her. Not a lot of people on boats, are there? Of course there are. She looks around. We are on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? Empathy says there is a pinch of defensiveness in her voice, but it is playful. Wait, we are on an archipelago? Look around. Yes, we are. She raises her brow. We are on Le Calio. I would suggest this pronunciation. We are on the Calio, or Kalu. I think Kalu sounds more acceptable. Kalu. I thought we were in Revachol. We are, and the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou. Let it be Le Caillou. Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here. Haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kinema motor carriage either. Kim says, actually, Lieutenant becomes defensive. That motor carriage has been specifically issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Havashel Industrial Harbor. It's not a toy. Neither is this. The woman pats the cabin hardtop. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Havashel, between the city and the islands. Rhetoric. You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich. Why? Why what? Stop thinking. Take her down. It will come off like I'm envious, and I'm not. You're not. Okay, then just keep on admiring the boat then, unburdened by envy. Do you have a license for this boat? Officer. I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator. Perception. The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says that she doesn't need a license. Sly fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this. That's encyclopedia entry. Think I have a handle on this boat? Good. She takes a sip of her thermal cup. What can you tell me about this lynching? Hey, Drinkrat. Hi, have you met Measurehead yet? I absolutely have. And Elder, nice to see you again. I haven't messaged you yet, but I wanted to directly tell you. At the time, I was grateful to have seen you at my previous stream, but well, here you are again, and yeah, good evening, or I should say good night already. So yeah, I have seen him, this Measurehead guy, and he is pretty much impressive. Has very interesting voice, which makes my job a bit simpler because because he's voiced, and I don't think I would have been able to impersonate him whatsoever. I mean, he has such a character by the game, so I was well, he is menacing, of course. He is a danger. He is frustrating. I talked about that last time, that his philosophy is lopsided. I mean, it's like he says, I'm supreme, you are inferior, your race is kind of dying out because of your alcohol consumption, or alcohol consumption, as he said. But you know, when we talk about this pinnacle, quasi-pinnacle philosophy, when some super elevated groups of people suddenly deem themselves as superiors, usually that ends really badly for everyone, including them, in some insurrection or some genocide or in some like malicious business. So yeah, I was quite troubled by his opinion. I cannot yet articulate exactly what I think on that topic because that's a complex one, but as I said, his philosophy is some kind of corrupt morally. Anyway, about lynching, she says quite a few things, I'm afraid. She follows silent for a moment, contemplating something. Experience 10. Information I am to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers. Oh, of course, ma'am, we should have introduced ourselves. Lieutenant hands her a piece of blue plastic. I'm Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. He points to you, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice. You're curious. She returns the lieutenant's badge and turns to you. Why is that, detective? Empathy. Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like the turn of events. Remember when my partner told you I had recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it. I see. She looks incredibly worried. So are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? It's possible. After a night of heavy drinking, I lost a memory of my life and the world. Oh dear. She sighs with confusion, sadness even. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what gain by faking such a condition. Well said. Very well said. Like, why would you fake a amnesia condition? Because that earns you little. Yeah, I'll even screenshot that because that's quite a clever twist. As I said, ma'am, the lieutenant interjects. His technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM. Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge. Haha. Alright. Hannon, she's a professional negotiator. We should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement. What kind of arrangement would it be? I mean, favors for favors, a dirty alliance of some sort. Logic says, consider this. Perhaps she's been planning it all along, that you convince yourself into colluding with her. Let's try this. A dirty alliance. Sympathy for your amnesia. Let's try this one. Success. Surely there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials? I'll be frank with you. She puts down her thermal cup. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible. Very tangible. You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain. Like what? Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason. Logic. She wants you to help her gain leverage to restart negotiations with the Union. The company has tried looking into the matters before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over on the right stones. Or... She picks the cup back up. She picks the cup back up. What a phrase. You can recover your badge, though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause. Kim says. Detective. The lieutenant closes his notebook. A word in private before we continue? Excuse us for a moment, madam. What is it, Kim? What do you want to say? And what about my thought cabinet? 95% for self-critique. Right.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, detective.
Oh, hushed voice. How did you hope it would go? Oh, okay, I'll have to whisper. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and volunteer us to be her henchmen. Really, I thought it was going so well. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along. Or she's simply an adept improviser. To take her hand. Empathy. Doesn't that's empathy, so I can talk with normal voice. He doesn't let his show. Sorry. He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation. Logic says, maybe this is all her plan, she might have heard about you. So, what do you propose? That we don't investigate the drug trafficking? No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union. Or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. He adjusts his glasses. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for information on the lynching. We could just, Shh. Oh, he nods slowly. That would be fantastic. Do you have time? The world is large and your patch is 8 by 6 centimeters. Logic says, the situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months. These three options are kind of similar. I don't get why they're differentiated. I mean, of course, the first one stands out, but that's kind of like storying again. Okay, I'm a story cop, so ask the situation and handle it. I'm sure you will, detective. So let's go back to her. Right? I don't know why that
You're back. Good.
was necessary.
What can I help you with at this late hour?
Yeah, 1 o'clock at night. It's night. Don't you ever sleep? Matter of fact, I don't. She takes another sip. Why is that? Have a medical condition of my own. Nothing unusual, though I'm an old, you see. No, you're not. You look young. Thank you. I do what I can to remain presentable. Now, ask me some questions. It will help us pass the night. Okay, tell me about this alleged drug trafficking. It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isola into Revachol with Union blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years. Ingredients for what, ma'am? Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, might be quicker to say what you can't make from this stuff. Let me get this straight. The materials come from Samar to Revachol through the terminal. Yes, after they clear the terminal we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here. Wild Pine seems to be well appraised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean. We are in logistics, it's our business to know, and no. As far as the company knows, the union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients. For a cut. And you want us to investigate. Yeah, but you won't get anything out of Everard and the dock workers union. Still, she raises her bony finger, every chain has its weak link. Logic. Hand off the mortar lorries at the roundabout. The lorries. Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbor into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they are distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable. Visual calculus says, how convenient that they're stranded like beached whales at that roundabout. Joyce continues. Perhaps we've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview drivers who are still hanging about. Ah, that racist truck driver could be the... One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. She gives you a knowing look. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I'll share company secrets with you. Logic. Uncovering union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them. More options to react. Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier? Coincidence? What proof do you have? We already have some suspicion. Okay. Actually, why didn't you come to the RCM earlier? We did, on more than one occasion. Apparently there is some sort of inter-prison disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under. We know the company has launched its own probe into the union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just like the RCM. Not just RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence. Well, she smiles and points toward the roundabout. Here's your chance, officers. It's no coincidence the lorries are stranded like that, is it? 5 experience. No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, she pauses looking into the sea. This is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the trade committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. She looks north. Thousands of liters of raw ingredients will pour into the streets of Revachol, not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary. Well, at least this solves one mystery. What is that, Lieutenant? Why I had to call East Motor Tract and beg them to open the drawbridge for me? I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage. I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kitsuragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity, I'm sure you understand. What proof do you have that the union is involved? How do you think they are financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight. There was a shakedown of local business preceding the strike. Many were squeezed into bankruptcy to fund it. With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. I think it is desert, sorry. With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves. So you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs? Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely. Then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you. Suggestion. Sounds like she tried looking into it herself, but she's clearly not the type your typical lorryman would confide in. We already have some suspicions that one of the drivers was present at the lynching. The two might even be connected. Or not, though if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it. As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done. Okay, I've made up my mind about the smuggling investigations. Yes? We'll take this case, probe the drivers, see what yields. Excellent. She takes a long sip of tea. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. Should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there is any other way I may be of assistance. She takes another long sip from her seemingly bottomless thermal cup. Do you know something about these tattoos? Show her the photo. That's the man who was killed. She almost takes the photo, but then stops. I'm afraid this is discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. Strange sound. From my laptop it feels. Close up now. I'm sorry guys. It's like water or my laptop, but I'm not sure which one. Okay, let's proceed. So you know something about the tattoos? Better not to tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with? Empathy. She wants to ask the question. Protocol keeps her from it. You seem smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in. This reality. She pulls her hood close around her neck. Drama. Yes, reality is your side case. Conceptualization and experimental side case. It's related to that medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality. Oh yeah, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephaly now that I can think of it. Now that I think of it. So, oh yes, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy. Now that I think of it. She puts down her thermal cup and looks at you. Don't be phased, ma'am. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality. You may be here a while, then. She takes a long sip of tea. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can. Encyclopedia. Alright, we are in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay? Alright, where are we? We are in Martinez, baby. Baby. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover. Pay it no heed. I'm a disco holdover myself. Ha! She smiles. Aren't we all? Logic. She refers to your corresponding ages. And what is Martinez? Martinez is a district of Havashel. She looks around, her green raincoat flapping in the wind. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbor, north of 8/81 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten even. Shell to smithereens during the revolution. She shrugs. It was its charms. Has its charms? Not... It has its charms, but not this time of year. Tell me more about Martinez. I'm not good, Ambassador. I've only been here once before as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. She closes her eyes. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, weeds, boys with boxy shoulders. Empathy. A brief spike of longing in her upright body. The dots under her eyelids shake. She opens them. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets. You were here as a teenager. Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. Had boats and, she smiles. Don't hold it against me. The boy certainly did not. You mentioned a sea. What sea is this? It's not actually a sea, it's the Bay of Havashol, and the bay feeds into the ocean. Are we near the ocean? Yes, we are on an island in an ocean, the world's largest body of water, the Insulindic. Encyclopedia says to us, known to the early Havasholians as Le Immensites Bleu, the blue immensities. Inland Empire says vast, lukewarm and unknowable, blown in and out of sight. What's the name of this island? Kalo. Or Kalu. I think I thought it was Kalu. As you already know, she looks to the waters. Imagine a pebble, a smooth over pebble amidst the great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the river Esperance. We are on the delta of this river, on the sixth branch, the Martinez distributary. Empathy says it's clear this pebble is of enormous value to her. And conceptualization says, and to humanity at large. Okay, that's Martinez. What's Havashol? Havashol? Havashol is what you call a city. What kind of a city is Havashol? Havashol, the great kind. Inland Empire says, as if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism. Effect. What makes Havashol great? History, detective. They built this city to resolve history, our part in it at last. How? Our part in it at least, our centuries. Okay, who built this city? The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Semenin and Lil Mara, depending on your creed. When was Havashol built? In the DeLorean century, 380 years ago. And why will it resolve history? They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts, ideological conflicts, the stuff of man. Why here? We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people. In the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue, she smiles. It's where the money is. So we're an unimportant part of an important place. I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about... she points across the water where the skyscrapers rise. 22 kilometers from the center of the world. That smoldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insercom, coalition government, Insulindian mission command. We look to the sea. Silence. She lowers her hand. Water, light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time, says Inland Empire. Let's say nothing. She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence slowly. Thought gained. Je me veux. The realization again. Inland Empire, this is one thought you need to complete. Where are you? Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about the lowdown. Kim says, this has been informative, thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask. He turns to you about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Miss here will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am? Absolutely, my commitment here is a long term. I want to know everything now. This is understandable, but perhaps it's better not to eat all your candy at once. Questions are really exciting. Do I have a level up? I do. I do. How come I have so many level ups? So, let's unlock one slot for Je me veux. I'll read it later, but I wanted to start counting. Now, wait. I thought I have an experience point. Do I spend 2 points to unlock now? This is horrible. Anyway. Anyway. What times are these? These are unimportant times, detective. She puts her finger to her lips, then points at you. You and I were born after the dust had settled, a thousandth of a second too late. Too late for what? For the big time. Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. What's the big time? A revolution, she says. Huh. And what is this revolution I keep hearing about? It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, species gets together to decide what's next. Who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. A real kerfuffle. When was this kerfuffle? And who got shot in the head? Let's go with the first one. Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration. Oh, and the anarchists too, they shot them well. So well one forgets they even existed. Conceptualization. She likes the totality of it. You could say they got totally shot in the head. Indeed, they piled them in mass graves in a zone and, well, that's the last anyone heard of those people. Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back? Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. That's a tragedy. Yes, the red deluge, the Insulindian deluge they call it. Anyone else got shot in the head on the opposing side? Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. She shakes her head. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king, just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. Quite cowardly. Before the term risk-averse, King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Frizzle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kinsmen. It was a wild time. Who got the mineral rights? The liberals got the mineral rights. She looks up to the sky, the inland at the crumbling city. And by mineral rights I mean everything. And by liberals you mean? Liberals are usually middle-class people, detective, or the remaining gentry, the beneficiaries of the revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the constitution, with monarchy, big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, the ultra-liberals. They fared well. How did the liberals win it all? They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember? Yes, she's one of them, of course. She's one of them, of course. Rhetoric. If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to? The foreign intervention, the coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything. The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. She stomps her up-booted foot. The ocean, the laws, and the people. Who are the coalition? I like how he's standing. Look at that. He's standing just pointing the flashlight exactly at her face, like in a classical, detention, and not detention, classical interrogation process, which I think must be severely uncomfortable for her, but she's doing well. Who are the coalition? The coalition of nations, Grog, Mask, Vesper, Messina, Orange, and Sulaclef, the armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist empathy. There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She's critical, though, but ultimately understands the cause. Moralist. The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head, at least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Havashal now, the coalition movement, coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist. Encyclopedia. The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of the moral intern or moralist internationalist is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of the grey sky. Unofficial, for a moment there was hope. That's something to ponder on. If always speaking the opinion doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes I am. And also not. Or technically, practically, for a moment there was hope. Yeah, this one. Devout man of the center, she notes. Hard to come by. It's good to have someone who takes a moderate approach to head shooting. In your line of work, I mean. So, when was this kerfuffle? The turn of the century revolution, she smiles mischievously. Don't answer it, it's a trick question. The revolution began in 02 on the Isolov Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved. Who started it? It wasn't a who, but a what? A pandemic of Tsara. A particularly virulent prion disease. Another disease. The creators knew something? Which the authorities in Groat proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. It's interesting that the game was released in 2019, 1 year before the pandemic. So what did this Tsara do? Made people overthrow their governments. No way. Indeed. Tsara is a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark. Where did it spread from there? From Havashalengrad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in 08 and the coalition crushed the Havashal commune 2 years later. It was the end. What came next? Why, you and I, officer, she spreads her arms, raincoat flapping in the wind. Our lives in the zone of control. Inland Empire. Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie, a pair of pants. Our lives are very different from each other. No doubt, but we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think. What is the zone of control? A city-state divided into 3 market zones. Under the everlasting interregnum of the coalition of nations, and you, of course, the citizens' militia. Esprit de corps, the code. The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of a reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage. The zone of control is the 3rd incarnation of Havashal after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. What happened in the rest of the world? Modernity. They developed the marvels of interstellar communication, telematic milieux, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Hevashol West, the aftermath continues for the fifth decade. Logic. 51 minus 8, 43. Wait, you're saying it's been like this for 43 years? Time flies. What have we been doing all that time? The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement in what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell. And after that? The 30s, things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time it seemed like things were going somewhere. Then you happened, your youth in the 30s, Inland Empire says. Conceptualization says all that untaxed income must have fueled the new. That can only mean one thing. That's when they discovered disco. Experience gained, yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. Nice little white hangover, you might say. So here we are, she curtsies. Whoa. Welcome to reality, baby. Task complete. Whoa, I finished a task by Tolkien. Have no idea where you are. So she's this rich person who can tell me something. Empathy. From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away. You don't seem to be thrilled. I've no right to be dissatisfied, she shakes her head. This shirt is Barbara Muscova. This raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just... She looks at the crumbling tenements, paint flecking from the stone. Her voice is almost wistful. We could have had so much more. Every one of us, if only we'd played it right. What would you have done differently? Good question. She cranes her neck. What would you have done differently? Volition. No, her first. Well, medical solution, of course. So a quarter of humanity, she calculates, simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prime, a complex folding protein, unlife, with technology 50 years ago? Well, privatized healthcare doesn't help. Modest social care and perhaps little age program. Well, this sounds like the most possible one. Good hygiene, really, a very moderate solution to an extreme problem. It's those sort of half measures that doomed the authorities in Grad. When they failed to step up, Mazov and his party stepped in. In this particular case, maybe a more robust state response might have been appropriate. The lieutenant puts down his notes for a moment. Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM. She turns to him. And what is your official position, Lieutenant? My position, ma'am. My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have done the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir. Understandable. She nods. Well, I asked you, what are you in all this? And I asked you, past-class detective of the Citizens Militia, what inside of your acute encephalopathy given to you? I misread this again. What inside has acute encephalopathy given to you? I don't know. then you would have died, most likely, not far from here, maybe even right here, during the beachhead defending the coast the day the coalition took the city. Um, have thought, I wouldn't have fought. I would have died fighting against them long before the beachhead. Our time is a shadow cast by the day. That's like the options she's given are limiting. I don't agree with anything that I said, but I have to go with some options at least. They are what they are, who knows, and after bloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know? Rhetoric. Not so fast. Who's she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer. Well, let's first go with what is this acute encephalopathy? It's a neurological disorder caused by lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out. Empathy. She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective, says Empathy. And Rhetoric says, in case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio. I know you've got a lot riding on me. I won't let you down. It's not just me, detective. All of Martinez has placed its chips on your success. I pray we've all bet wisely. That's a loud statement. What causes encephalopathy? Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use. Well, it's drinking. She nods slowly. Yes, and perform autoerotic asphyxiation on yourself with your funny necktie out in the open somewhere. That's what horrific necktie says. Sexualization, impossible 20, what is... I want to know what you are. Volition, she won't maneuver her way out of this one. Say nothing. I'm the vilest of the vile, she says with a sudden flash of teeth. A traitor, a devourer of nations and infants. I'm an ultra. Dios mio, draw across. A liberal. No, that's okay. I mean, probably not in the game's meaning, but... Wait, what's an ultra? An ultra-liberal, it's a type of liberal from the now my R is spoiled by this Havashol. It's not the moderate kind. I don't understand. What's so wild about that? Haven't you heard? She nods pedagogically. I'm another creature of the Forbidden Swamp, one of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed their revolution. God, I can see you thought I'd gone extinct. No sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight, she looks in the eyes. You're a centrist at heart, a real moralist. Oh, that's what my friend says, that I'm a centrist, I mean, in life. I don't know what that means completely, but... Moralist, well, that's also kinda true. Tell me, now that you've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening? Empathy. In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire, decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her, suggestion says. Electrochemistry, but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes. I forgive you, but only because you are charming. And will, she pronounces, who being of great charm and guile, shaketh into homes of the godlike. I think that's another poem that I massacred. Isn't it guile? Who being of great charm, guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godlike. I think I've met this. No, guile is spelled differently. It's not. It's probably guile. No, I don't find this. Uh, I don't know. Conceptualization. That dialect is Ubisund. I recognize the quote from somewhere. Play written way back in the Franco-Nigerian century. That probably is the in-game thing. And persuades them to addict themselves to his service. Maybe remember more than you let on, so it's exactly the in-game stuff, I guess. She gives you a quick little smile, despite whatever brain damage the alcohol may have inflicted. Shake your head slowly while you... Hope so. Hope we're able to continue as friends despite my scaly bulk and the insanity, bloodshed and transfer of wealth that took place here. It was not the plan all along. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. What time is it in this? Oh, I actually forgot to relocate my camera because it's quite important for the experience. So yeah, thank you, Elder. I think I'll put it like the third, the third character to the game, like this. I think it's kind of funny, like there are 3 of us. So it's 2 o'clock at night. I actually don't know how I'm going to relax because Kim was... So I was kicked out from the hostel because I didn't pay, I didn't beg for money. And I thought I would not, well, ask from people I meet on the street, which left me with 2 reals and 64 cents. I haven't collected bottles yet, but I want to, but the shop was closed where the bag was supposed to be taken. Yeah, so I have no place to sleep and I have 0 health points, so I wonder if I freeze in this game, that's like the end? Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. And I'm kind of compromising my playthrough by the fact that I'm reading loud, which I think doesn't even double, it triples the playtime, so the game didn't think the player would be like reading all this. So by that moment I could have done so much more, but well, let's go hardcore. So she turns her gaze to the Delta. This was all our last generation managed. Would you have done something differently? With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta beachheads either. If not for my own sake, then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it. Inland Empire. Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes, an oil fire in the ocean. I never spent a night on the street, no idea what would happen. So, how did you find your way to like stay in the hostel the first night? Did you find money or did you find some place to stay inside? Because, well, I don't know, I'm kind of behaving authentically. I don't know what I would do in this situation. I mean, if I wake up with amnesia, drunk in the hostel room in a place which I don't know anything about, probably I will behave like I have nothing to lose, exactly like my character is behaving. So I'm kind of I'm okay with that because, yeah, and that's the situation I'm kind of dreaming of sometimes, that I have nothing to lose, and so no restraints, no harnesses, no limitations, no boundaries, no nothing. Just you act, you live out yourself, your true self. And that is what I so miss in real life, because, well, I have restrictions, I think. At the same time, do I have restrictions? No, do I have restrictions? I mess up my pronunciation and even when I just speak. I don't know why this happens, some kind of glitch in my brain. You're a smart woman. Well, that's obvious, that's apparent. Perhaps her earrings chime and the echelons. I love when earrings chime. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing. You're no dummy yourself, logic says. No, or intellectual vanity will be my undoing. And the crown on your head as you lay in the casket. Logic. You're a patriot? Yeah, I suppose I am, but I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here. Seditious talk, ma'am. The lieutenant puts down his notes and gives her a look. You have daughters? Yes, whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. She closes her eyes, then opens them again. Now, she'll return to reality. What is this? Spread my hands like a bird. She tilts her head as Finicid, a lightless bird of the polar regions. Keep guessing. Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. Joyce raises her eyebrows. You're an ancient ruin, a symbol of hubris and decay, half submerged in some salty sea. I say I'm ruined. Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. That was actually beautiful. Yeah, I love this. This conversation. I meant, what is this place here? Ah, she spreads her arms almost as wide. This is the Pier de Rue de Saint-Ghislain 3A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. What do? She looks around. What is Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33A? A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see, and new buildings bâtiments. After Le Bâtiment Nouveau, but 33, maybe it's bâtiment. But 33 and 33B, 33A and 33B are not nouveau, they're old. She looks up at the crumbling facade. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall, a real high-rise by the standards of the last century, built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay to the delta, in the delta. That was before the war, of course. Who lived in them? Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Whoa, 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 whoa. The girl was... Oh. She was overhearing. Splat splat from a dilapidated balcony. Young girl in odd clothes gives Joyce the evil eye, a red paintbrush held to her throat. Wonderful. Wow. What is that? Point to Cindy the skull. The girl in the old lady rags? Yeah. Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture. Infraculture? Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We are common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture. Okay, but now explain the same thing, but to a child. Young people who dye their hair funny colors and wear old people's clothes are stupid, and their little rebellion is self-defeating. She pauses to take a long, leisurely sip of tea. Alright, what next? Conceptualization. Suddenly you're not so sure you're part of the superculture. I think I may be part of an infraculture. Her eyes go round with surprise. And what would that be? Don't know, I just feel it. Oh yes, that's what it counts. That's what counts, I suppose. For my part, I was more of a new girl. The new. The new, a cultural era, and the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s, came out of post-revolutionary Hevashal. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne colored everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now, she raises her eyebrow at you. Sounds fun, I can't remember anything. Wasn't it Guillaume Le Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there? Haha! Wait, Guillaume Le Million, I was just thinking about that guy. Whatever happened to him? Oh yeah. She looks hesitant. This is not very central to reality, is it? I still want to know. Can't be 100% sure, but I believe he died due to complications from venereal disease. Are you sure he didn't die of autoerotic asphyxiation? You can't get a venereal disease from that, can you? So which one? All of them. So you're saying he didn't vanish in a puff of stardust? I'm afraid no, but then again, one can't be entirely sure. It's all part of his mystique. Ask someone else and you may get a more champagne-colored take. Anyway, she concludes, what other basic facets of reality should we discuss? Let's conclude for now. Glad to have been of assistance, the little that I know. Anything else? No, I'll take my leave. And now I'll save the game. Hey, quick save. Why aren't you working? Okay, let's explore the thoughts. Empathy. What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez. That's me, Mr. Reasonable. Someone's got to keep it sane around here. That's me, Mr. Reasonable. This is because I keep saying none of the above to political stuff, isn't it? It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover, perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin, but something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience. First, where is this kingdom of conscience? It's not a place, it's a moment in the time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times. How do you bring about these circumstances? Incrementally. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment. What about all the things that are wrong now? Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the kingdom of conscience. Your children may not, even your grandchildren might not, but that's no excuse not to keep working. Logic, what rationality? Volition, what benevolence? Wait, is the kingdom of conscience really about doing things or just preserving the status quo? Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? I think yes. Oh, sorry, no. Oh, of course not. Sorry, I don't get this. Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? Yes, it is. There you have it. Sometimes holding the line is progress. Well, that's deep. Okay, but what's the kingdom of conscience actually like? The kingdom is difficult to comprehend and even more difficult to describe, partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The kingdom of conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual. I did now notice that you had only one health bar. That's why you died twice in your room. Ah, so it means like if I had, for example, if I had 2 health points, I would have survived. I see. And I was reading this ledger, my police documents, and there was some memory which I dived into, and I died again. Probably I took some damage. I mean, I couldn't take some damage, that's why I died. The game finished, I had to load. I wonder... Oh, okay, I see. So I need to increase my... to increase my... what's happening here? What's this 2/1? 2/1. Strange. Why 2/1? Do I have 2 health points? Say what? What's happening? Why can't I open my thinking chamber? Thought chamber. Depends on physique. So I need to... Ah, I can do nothing because I... Physical instrument is for fighting. Hey, now it's 1 out of 1, not 2 out of 2. What happened? What the hell happened? Motorics, I don't remember. No, it's physique, I think, because motorics defines something different. It's something different, but I don't remember what. Anyway, well, I think it sounds incredible. Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow? Alright. Then let's get there eventually. That's right, remember, real democracy is just around the corner for have a show. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we're all going to be so much happier. Okay, got it. Now, thought complete. Rigorous self-critique. Woohoo! It says, here it is. Hard facts from the man you are. You once jerked off the locker room and were caught. Held a young woman by the arm and kept her in your apartment for 20 minutes against her will. That's right. These are not flights of fancy. These are real deeds. Harry, emerging from the darkness of your past. You tried shooting a fleeting suspect in the foot, but hit him in the pelvis, crippling him for life. And above all, you let life defeat you. All the gifts your parents gave you, all the love and patience of your friends, you drowned in the neurotoxin. You let misery win, and will keep on winning until you die, or overcome it. Okay, accept. So, what's the bonus again? Intellect and psyche, red check, failures, heal, +1 morale. Physical and motorics, red check, failures, heal, plus health. Learning cap for pain threshold raised to 6. That's kind of strange. Okay, I need to explore this kingdom of conscience, so I have to unlock one more slot. I'm spending so many learning points on thoughts. I don't know if I should be doing this actually, because my skills are just, well, suffering because of that. By the way, signal blue naval coat. What's half light? Of serial pose and suggestion, I captain, okay. This classic double-breasted coat suits everyone, including you, and if you ever find yourself betting wings at the helm of a ship, then the coat's heavy fabric has got your back, even if moths have left a few holes in it. What is this half-light? Where is it? Half-light. Let the body take control, threaten people. I don't want to threaten anyone, so I would say jacket tells people I'm a police officer, and this one improves suggestion. Let's change. Yeah, look at this. Interesting. Now he looks like a lighthouse keeper. Definitely. So, haven't finished the conversation.
You're back. Good.
Have
What can
some
I help
questions
you
about
with?
reality. Esprit de corps. Success, please. Failure. But I have to have healed my health points now? Wait. Didn't this... Critique. Ah, it's intellect... No. Okay, let's load the game. And I think I changed the jacket at the wrong moment, because that jacket of mine... Yeah, healed, and I have one. I have one because I spent one. I spent one when something happened. Like this orange bar means that I have one at least, so I can heal it back. But I'm not sure what will happen if I get damaged. I mean, I know what will happen. I'll die. So that's the unfortunate point. So now it should be a bit easier.
What can I help you with?
Yeah, 58%. Success! 6 kilometers southwest in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner Mill Mullins whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost." "Oh." His mind? Tilbrook answers, finger on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil. He pulls on it slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do." What am I? What? You're an officer of the RCM, she says energetically. The Havashol Citizens Militia? Preciso Mundo. Good, and what is the Havashol Citizens Militia? Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Havashol detective. Yes. The lieutenant steps in to make a gesture encompassing you both. We are the Havashol Citizens Militia. He's being sarcastic. De facto. Yes, that means not the Jura, sorry. French, Latin, English, Spanish, they all interconnected here and broke my brain. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin. What do you mean? The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency Wayfarer and Alignment Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, I think it's laissez-faire status to the benefit of foreign capital. All 3 are good to know. Lieutenant looks up from his notes when we are out policing. So I'm basically a lackey of capital. There is nothing basic about your old detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it, she leans in. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you. Why? The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Havashol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, botched privatization scheme, and nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative, she smiles. They will never forgive you. Kim says. That's somewhat of an exaggeration, the lieutenant interjects. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Hevashorians get to keep the peace in Hevashor, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. He coughs. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue. Yes, Lieutenant, permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Hevashor. Thank you, man. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help. She bows and smiles. What was the RCM again? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. That's what the who I am part then. Yes, okay. Conceptualization is the last option I'd like to exercise.
You're back. Good.
Having
What can I help you with?
3% chance. Well, I failed with 92 yesterday, 2 days ago, but what if we get some success with 3%? Of course. A strange coldness comes over you and as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly, that's all. The doubt is fully formed in your head. The alien feeling persists. You just can't word the question yet. You have to complete the je me vu thought first. Ah. Uh-huh. The thought about je me vu. It's... Then let's load the game without trying that thing yet. And proceed with the millions of other conversations on this map. Low on morale, put points in volition. Yeah. Oh my god, so much to do here. And it's already 2 o'clock at night. Wait, has the time stopped? I think this hasn't changed. Can I open the door? Southwest entrance to the tenements. A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked. Let's knock. The door rattles against the knuckles, but there is no response. Knock again. The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
This is the police. Open the door.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
But I'm not joking.
No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door. So there's one more entrance. To the east. So we go here. Okay. Kim, tell her we're real policemen.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
Kim repeats dutifully. There's no reply, just faint sweeping sounds inside. Let's knock again.
Stop banging on the door.
Who am I speaking to?
It don't matter who I am. Now, go on. The police? No, I already told you. I'll go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there.
Okay, it doesn't work. But that means we have a chance to sleep somewhere other than in the street. What's this? A door we can smash? A wall, sorry. Not necessary to obtain all the thoughts available. There aren't much free slots left in your case. Yeah, I know, but I mean they're fun. They're sometimes hilarious, and that's why I'm kinda. I don't know why I'm doing this. I mean the game is throwing them at me, and I have skill points to spare. At the same time, compromising my character development. So I don't know. Conceptualization. Why am I looking at this wall? I need to upgrade my conceptualization because I want to be this artistic guy who... Ooh, 25 cents and magnesium. What fun. Hey, Kunes, how are you?
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
Not really. Logic error, she's not sleeping right now.
Pigs come to take me out? Trying to snuff me out?
No, why would you even say that? Then why are you sneaking up on me like that? It's not a good idea to scare me, pig. Not a good idea at all. Alright, I get you. So this is garden hose. This won't be of use until the snow melts. Got it. This says chairs and tables eaten by rain and rot. Some box. There is orange bomb hat. Woohoo! And Nosafed. Health points. Wow. Just a closed door, but you look at it suspiciously. Suspiciously? Let's also knock at it suspiciously. Can we knock suspiciously? No, we cannot. How do you knock suspiciously, I wonder? These barrels are half full of rainwater. Well, how do you knock suspiciously? Like... I don't know. I don't want to impersonate that. That's stupid. I mean, it's fun, but let's do it next time. Like suspiciously knocking. I'll practice. What about this door? There must be another way into the building. What? Why everything is closed here in this world? Nobody wants to let me in. Nobody wants to give me money. And look, it's really frozen. It's 2 o'clock. Is it a bug, or is it like the game has decided to go benevolent on me? Like, okay, I get your excessively and lonely cormorant service the sea indifferent to your approach. Whoa. Look at this cutie. Bird. Hey. Hey. Nice. So, I was saying, time only passes in somewhat important conversations, as I can see. Huh. I haven't noticed yet, but I think when I was exploring my my ledger, it told me like you will spend 30 minutes to read this case, and when I finished reading there was exactly 30 minutes that had passed, but maybe it was artificially done by the game. That makes little sense, but still. I mean, I would have enjoyed more if the game was actually, well, changing time. I noticed it in the middle of my own playthrough. Yeah. Okay, I'll pay attention, thank you. I didn't read what it said, but, well, probably about something, like something about Hobacop, I would assume. Now, some coin-operated viewer. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside, then use the focus knob to zoom if it is necessary. Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty? What did tourist attraction do in here? Kim says there was a revitalization project in 49. Design studio tried to restore Martinez to its pre-war glory. Lieutenant looks around and concludes, didn't stick. What happened? They got as far as the street lamps and the statue on that intersection, then something went sour. He lowers his voice. I suspect that something was Everard Clare, the union leader. He muscled them out. It's how it usually goes around here. How much money do you need to pay for rent? 130 reals. And I have 2.89. So I'm 127.11 reals away from that payment. Cool, I dig organized crime is the best. Can we do something about it? We should have done something about the Union 10 years ago. That ship has sailed, officer. Let's leave, save the game, and let's now insert 25 cents. Yeah, exactly. Oh gosh, that's what I feel. Your money disappears into the coin slot at clunk, the ring of metal. Pull the handle and look inside. The curtains, don't tell me the game is going to tell me about what I see, not just show. The curtains on the display open, you lean in to catch the view. It's blurry, different blues and greens. In the middle of the shimmer stands a drab gray shape like a ghost. Turn the knob to focus your vision. The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible. A half-sunken sea fort, its concrete almost reconquered by nature. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the anti-aircraft tower. A lonely birch tree grows out of it. Empathy says, its leaves ripped from it by the winter wind. Hang in there, little one. The little brave birch tree seems to wave back in the wind. Hey, there are ruins of some kind of building there. Really? I don't have the eyesight to make it out. The lieutenant takes off his glasses and cleans them. So I assume this one will give us a different picture because it looks... This coin appears southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible. Poor little viewer. The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic. Vandalism. Probably some kids. Lieutenant inspects the rigged slot. Let's look inside. A thick layer of graffiti covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk written on the other side with N and C scribbled backwards. That's Kuna on the lens. Kuna, you shift your focus to the background. Under the graffiti, a sea of blues and greys appears. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church in stilts, lanky, weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know it to be the star of Pericarnassus, or the Chiro, or Kiro maybe. The central symbol of the Pericarnassian church is star, a great moral height to be strived towards. And the inland empire says, the church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. Let's leave. Okay, and this tree is about... the ad reads, broken window, Tips has windows. What fun. To run about north to Cape Side Arts, Martinez Pier, Cape Side Arts. I'd love to check there. Who's that? Hello, sir. The things I've seen, Hickman said. Okay. Probably he's not very conversation prone. Doesn't look so. Yellow. What does yellow mean? A splatter of bullets holes lines the wall. Is it anarchy? Esprit de corps. The sight of bullets holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname. Look closer first. The fading marks are too degraded to draw any forensic conclusions, just chips in the sandstone. They look pretty ancient. Kim, look! Bullet holes! Where? He looks around. Point to the chips in the wall. Someone has been shot. We're the cops. We should solve it. There! He looks to the wall. Those are old. Oh, you mean like from the revolution? Yes, the one that happened half a century ago, he blinks. Those bullets were fired during the revolution and do not warrant an investigation by officers of civil law. Okay, what can you tell me about this revolution? Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Shall we go? Okay. We shall. I assume. Oh, no, nothing to inspect there. Another tourist attraction. This corner credit viewer has been banged up, inoperable. Or not. If I had like 10 tourist attraction viewers, I think I'll have lost my voice by next stream. So, bench. The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comfortable. Lieutenant looks down the street. We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go. No, I can sleep here. You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsurugi is gone. Kitsurugi doesn't want me to relax at all. Some great tectonic force has cracked the pavement like an eggshell. So, what are the thoughts? Maybe a sea monster did this to the plaza? Or the damage looks like it could have been caused by an earthquake. Okay, I get it. So I have explored the left part of the building. And this is what? Pawn shop? I guess. Or maybe not, but I'll check it later. Because I haven't checked the door here because I got distracted. But I wanted to check it. So let's see. Oh, it's even a loading screen. Cool. A house. Can I sleep here? Let's read attentively. A silver plate with traces of bone yellow powder. Electrochemistry be still my beating heart. It's amphetamine, sweet amphetamine. The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror, he is studying you. Rhetoric. There is a good vague way to ask where he stands on drug use. Professionally, I mean. Someone has taken narcotics here. Perhaps the police should interfere? Perhaps not. He looks at you. This is below pay grade, detective. However, he points to the ladder in the corner. See that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial harbor, no? A secret path the local kids use. This ladder, I guess. The poster says, get out of the way or get fucked up. Got it? Another. I have 3 rohels and 4 cents. Curd pig's head. It looks mummified. Oh my god. This is amazing. And an empty tube of magnesium supplement. This is nice poster, some stuff. So what do I do with this letter? Somebody asked you if you had read skills descriptions, but you read only the short version, I think. There is an info tab there, hard to notice. Maybe you did read them though. So did you mean... Oh, this one. This one I haven't. This one I haven't. I only read like... Yeah, I think I only read the overview when I was beginning the game. So yeah, thank you Elder for pointing that out. I think I neglected the idea. But I won't do this now because I think I'm not yet overwhelmed with the game, but I'm not definitely as fresh as to soak up new information, so let's not do that yet. And we are in a new place completely, which is... what is it? No, wait. What's this jacket? So we are This doorway is going to collapse soon. Restoration pillars keep the ruins together. Some bucket has postcard Grand Courant 37. Item gained. There is a box. I'm climbing the debris. Debris. Another book to read. Exactly. I'm not sure I can do that. So, how do I go to this? Policeman cloak. Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. Man down. A trooper has been left behind the enemy lines. You could swear it's more of an instinct than an actual sight, but you know there isn't. The RCM signature rectangle on the cloak. It's a corpse cloak. It's a corpse cloak. Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia and you have a habit of being careless with your equipment. He judges the drop. You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day. Look around. The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance over the container yard. The look in his eyes is a mix of the engineer-like interest and the wonder of 6-year-old seeing a horse for the first time. That's a huge crane. Yes, that's one way of putting it. He turns to you with a faint smile and looks back at the crane. It's certainly an impressive achievement of engineering. But I digress. We are focusing on your cloak here. He looks at the sad piece of fabric flapping in the wind. What exactly are we doing up here? I was under the impression we are on our way to meet the king of this castle on the siege, Everard, one of the people we are interviewing. This way we may be able to get around his henchmen. He looks around, wind rustling his hair. Or it could be that we are just exploring. We are exploring. He is thinking you've forgotten where you are again. Do you really think this cloak is mine? Should I go for it? Should I jump? The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. As to whether you should go for it. He looks over the ledge at the cold pavement below. Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous. 2 meter stops. Whenever you're ready to do it, I'll be right behind you. The cloak looks like a bag of goodies floating in the wind. Who knows what its pockets may hide? So if I jump with this percentage, I think I'll damage my health. But again, what was that savoir-faire? I think I need to remove my pants and my shoes. And that will kind of give me more dexterity, I would say. Yes, it will, definitely. So, let's check the 28! Without trousers, without pants, it's always more effective to jump. I understand why. Is it a failure? Okay. Why? What's happened? Why did you stop? That's a high. Doesn't seem dangerous. The lieutenant must be crazy to suggest that this is certain death. Vertigo almost pushes you over the edge. Right, I can't do it right now. I'll make the jump next time. Damaged health. Health critical. Okay. Come on, man, what the hell? Try it again. It's 28% success. Oh. I'll try 2 more times. Only 2. Again, no pants, no shoes. And let's jump. That was failure. Can I cancel this? No, I cannot. Alright. Okay. Damaged health. Load gain. Quick save. Load. Confirm. And I wonder, do I actually need to jump anyway? Because if I do, then I just come back later. Because maybe there are other ways to move to, like, I don't understand now. Anyway, what's this? What's this? Money! And this? Some more money. I have 5 levels. I'm rich. I'm wealthy. So I told I would try jumping one more time, but instead I'd like to climb down. I'd like to climb down and check what is this location actually, because I don't understand. Like, can I get anywhere from here apart from? So that means that I have to jump next time. Like, I have no choice actually. I just to go to this guy, Claire or whatever his name is. I'll have to jump, or find another way to get to that restricted area. And the time is still 2 o'clock. Well, that's quite unrealistic, you know. I mean, it's good news that it is 3 o'clock, but well, it gives me some chance to spend night not in the street. So where have I not been yet? Let's go and check the door on the left. This one. Excuse me. It's locked. Okay. Great. Nobody wants to talk to me there too. Can I talk to that little girl who was... What did that woman say? Supra something. Supracultural, infracultural, if I'm not mistaken. How do I get up? Do I talk to her from this?
The streets will flow red once more.
Whoa.
A great torrent rushing down Rue d'Esperance. You wait and see.
The girl stares at the sailboat by the pier.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth? Blood type? The last time I was tested for Hep C?
We just want to know your name, little lady. No need to get defensive.
And here I was, trying to be polite. Just can't win with you pigs.
Despite the sass, she puts the brush aside. Conceptualization says a brush, an artist. The red splatter is urban expressionism. You keep looking off to the side. What are you looking at? She turns her head to face the coast and nods disdainfully towards Joyce, performing maintenance on her boat. Hatred, disgust, it's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring. She hisses, "That a Zone whore sometime. Someone's gotta keep an eye on her." Zone is an archipelago 2 days travel away from Havashal. Its moneyed residents, used to posh in restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinez. Him enjoys. On a first-name basis with her, are we? Piggy is moving up in the world. Hold on, what's a Zone? It's where they grew whores like her and the whore man. Why all the negativity? Have you got a crush on her? Acting for an opportunity to defend her honor? What are you doing on the wall? To the wall? Can't you tell I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aero graffito visible from low orbit? She studies the wall, suddenly pensive. Haven't really said it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. So you don't know what to write? Have you ever tried your hand at graffito? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff like pigs go home or Mona was here. We rarely see pigs around here though, just union cats, and my name's not Mona, so... Empathy. She wants it to be something true and total. Why so committed to defacing the building? I don't think it's defacing, so... One opinion. I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. I think, yeah, this is the one. Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval. She means the opposite. Oh, come on. I was sincere. You've lessened her desire to deface the building. Haha. Haha. Reverse psychology. That's it in action. But I was actually very sincere. I love graffitis. I told it, I think, during the first stream, maybe. Do you know anything about the recent murder? She wrinkles her nose. I ain't no snitch, Pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shed. No shortage of squealers in these parts. Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner. We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, Echo. Catch you later, Cindy. Watch your back, Ungulate. We've got eyes on you. Yeah, this I know. The gardener is watching us. So, moving on to this pawn shop that Kim mentioned, I guess. And interestingly, the time hasn't shifted a tiny bit. That's surprising. Kim, where is this pawn shop you mentioned, I wonder? Is that? Ruins full of snow. No one lives here anymore. I can live there. I'm a Hobakov. Hey lady, have you become sane again? No. She hasn't. She hasn't become sane, unfortunately. Any people I can locate? Anywhere? People have gone home. But this guy is standing firm. Apparently. Now, Kim. Tell me, where is this pawn shop? Where am I supposed to sell my stuff? Which I incidentally don't have. Oh, the tree. The tree says an ancient fountain doesn't pump water anymore. There's a tree in it. Okay. And this is... tire tracks leading onto the roof. The slush and rain has almost washed them off. What roof? Tire tracks leading to the roof. What? Oh, I had a thought. Okay. A sewer grate, a gateway to the river filth. Excellent. Exactly what I need. I'll open this container, and this is what? This is waterlock control panel. A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plug. Visual calculus. This panel usually closes the waterlock. Turn it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal, but there's a crashed cement butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk, then nothing happens. Push it harder. Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind blowing in from the sea interrupts the silence of the situation. Lieutenant hums to himself while staring at your activities. Poor Kim. Okay, I get it. A sprint brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get across the canal some other way. Another task. Isn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning? Let's pull the lever again. Release it. Leave. On Wednesday. And today is... I don't know. I think I was sleeping the whole weekend, so it has to be Monday. South and west, the pawn shop. South, west. Yeah, so I probably am going the right direction, thank you, Elder. I'm again exploring the surroundings, hoping to find something. What luck? Out of order until Wednesday. Okay, the game is mocking me again. Like, can't you see? Roy's pawn shop. I'm actually at the place. Fast cash. I won't say fast cash. Fast cash 4, and I didn't finish the name, unfortunately. Another Nosafet. I have 3 hidden items. That's quite... it's inspiring hope in me that I won't die to anything. Penniless gloves. I can complete my lovely... what's that? Image of Hobacop now. And this is a helpline to the company that controls the drawbridge. Well, that's what we heard of, that it was lifted. Sewage. Hot air rises up from the sewer. Sour, acidic, and strangely comforting. Really, Hobacop. Really. Apparently. So, my soul is kinda pacified because I see we have kind of explored the territory to some extent. Wait, is there something to... No, just a lamp. Let's have a look. Penniless gloves. Gathering stained penniless gloves in navy blue. They've been worn threadbare, but being made of wool still provides some warmth and comfort. And orange bomb hat. Reaction speed feeling twitchy. -1 rhetoric, bomb brain. An orange beanie with a couple of big ass holes on the side. It looks like it might have been used as a mask during an armed robbery. So I just want to look to see how it looks. It looks trashy. Especially if I put on yeah. That's the attire any dignified man has to wear in the street. Look at this. Just amazing. A crowbar, pry bar, and flashlight. Wonderful hat. Stylish white tank top. Greasy, horrific necktie. Yeah, just a winner. Just a winner. It's that's the Hobacop, exactly. That's him. So let's go and open the container. Wait, I have opened it already, right? So I'm also having amnesia now. Oh, all right. So and also these thoughts don't progress while I'm just moving around, right? Excellent. I thought they did. Alright, let's go back to seriousness. White satin short. Remove the hat. Put on trousers. Or pants. Pants, trousers, both. Now, disco as blazer. Maybe electrochemistry will leave. Yeah, let's remove the instruments because they are weird. And this item here, postcard. This postcard depicts an ill-advised residential area overlooking the Jamrock Quarter. 13-story buildings line the hillside like sarcophagi. I think it was sarcophagus. Well, then it is plural, like sarcophagi? That is weird. Like succubus, succubi, colossus, colossi, sarcophagus, sarcophagi? An ominous fog already rising from behind. These are the last boom years. In 39, the project fails catastrophically, leaving behind an opiate and hepatitis B infested slum. Uh-huh. By the way, that I have some health points that I can restore. Does it mean that I can now go for this, for this interaction with interfacing? Oh, come on! Come on! Hell. I need to return my gloves because they improve interfacing. My gloves. Yeah, that improve interfacing. But I don't know how interfacing can be possible when you're wearing such gloves and touching actually quite gentle object. I mean, requires some precision. Success! So I've read this already at the beginning of the stream. Smell it first, open it, continue. Yes, what was that? Throw the... Hold on to it, read the card. Keep reading. So, am I dying? Continue. Sparks fall like snow from the ball collector, streetcar distancing. Damaged ledger, refill not ledger, slip, fall sideways. So it's a no return point. Always. Even if your health is full, even if you have points to heal up. Okay, that's the end of the game. Okay. Right. I see. But I don't even get any achievements. I mean, that's no interaction, no explanation why I died, like what has happened to me. I expressed my hypothesis previously, but still it's very what? Very mysterious. Hey.
There is
Yeah. What?
nothing. Again.
Huh?
Nothing said. Well, oh, that's me.
That is a glitch. That's a big glitch. Interesting. Very interesting. I wonder what would have happened if I had continued. Yeah, pretty impressive, right? The orbs around your head, they have surprises. Oh yeah, surprises they do have. Ooh, so let's have a look around. Mostly military wear with a few more eccentric fashions thrown in. And this says some kind of machine and antique cash register. This says in the dark a film projector is wearing away. And this I think will trigger the conversation, I imagine. A bust of a woman. A bust of a woman? The plug simply says Dell. It's not a person. I hate such things. I mean, even in real life, in shops, I hate these dolls because I always take them for people. Now I took her for a person. Incredible. I thought it was a person, really. Knickknacks stand. You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All as stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty cool here, then use it to win her back. Win her back. Yes, buy something nice, a figurine. Volition, this sounds off. You shouldn't trust this guy. Interfacing, easy 9. Dig up a truly cool figurine in the box under the table. Inspect the knights on horseback. Big men on big horses, clad in lamellar armor and carrying flintstocks. The kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye, point at the knights on horseback. Who are they? Franco-Nigerian knights. He looks at the dusty figurines in the dim light. I used to be very serious about these guys. A long time ago. Inspect the blue uniforms. They're not just all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets. Are these royalist soldiers? Which ones? The man peers from his glass box. Oh, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but shouldn't like bright colors indiscriminately. Inspect the figurines in rags. This set of soldiers is meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols, some even shows and tall sticks. Are these even soldiers? You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? The man behind the glass answers. Yes, they're soldiers. Revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't even seem like they could possibly win. I wish it was more nuanced. As it stands, I cannot comment. I think I don't like either set very much, to be honest, but there are many parents among my customers. Challenging success for Indian Empire. He seems to have his own take on the conflict played out and perpetuated by these toys. Might be interesting to find out what it is. Oh, another book to read. Let's step away and put on our dear gardening gloves again, because apparently we need them. And 58% success. Woohoo! Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse. A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say fawn. What's this? Oh, that's the headless fawn rider. Who? The headless fawn rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Havashol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you can see, he's missing his hat. He points at the decapitated figurine. 50 cents. Bargain priced. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations. He lost his hat when he lost his head. Perhaps he's looking for the head. Of course, purchase. Of course, that's my first legitimate, legal, conscientious purchase in the game. 50 cents, such a bargain for a figurine with history. That's like not even discussable. Did I mention that his figurine is supposed to be lucky? Oh, of course, fortune. It's also for choosers. For choosers. So always carry it with you, he grins. That was a very smooth salesman grin that almost comes off as earnest. You should learn from him. So let's look at our figurine. Woohoo! Figurine set headless fawn rider. The plastic headless fawn rider sits atop his equally plastic bull, his posture indicating either desperation or pride. Comes as a set with the infamous fawn cap for which he lost his head. The head is not included. Excellent. We've got ourselves a toy. For only 500 cents, 550 cents, which I honestly found in the streets as a Hobocop. Only in the streets. Sold nothing, begged for nothing, just found my coins, my freaking cold winter coins in dust and mud. Yeah. It's not much, as the meme says, but it's honest job. So, yep. What's next? I guess there is some kind of another interaction stuff. Sawed-off street light. A typical Martinez street light sits among assorted floor and table lamps. Let your gaze run over the street light. The light pole has been carefully cut and the wiring has been done and attached to the standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly but persistently. Conceptualization says this would make quite a statement in your living room. Haha, yeah, I agree. Is that a street light? Yes, officer. As you can see, it's in perfect working order. Where did you get this? It was brought to me to be altered. He leans in so the pawnbroker doesn't hear him. Not here to investigate the theft of city property. He pauses, studying the light, and then adds, I have to admit, it's rather clever what he's done with it. How much for the street light? 700 real. A bargain, I dare say. 700 real. And I earn how many reals? How much real a year? I don't remember. We had a conversation with Kim, something like 9 or 13,000 a year. So to give your well, not month salary, but half month salary for a street light. On the one hand, it's ludicrous. On the other hand, it's a street light for lamp. So, yeah, it's legitimate. Hey, I don't know where it came from, but it's not every day you get to buy and sell something so extraordinary. I do agree, but I don't have 700 reals. So, there is nothing else you need to know about the light. Okay, next. I want to actually have a close-up look. Strange, I cannot actually locate the or understand, but I do want to look at the figurines because I love figurines, especially metal ones or some kind of metal ones I love. Every year I present one to my friend on his birthday. Roman legionaries, Roman legion, the centurion, the regulars. This year it was a centurion with a column, concrete or marble column, which was decently heavy. So let's now converse with this guy, or can I? Shelf of boomboxes. Boomboxes. The boomboxes on the shelf look well loved and well traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the blinking eyes of their tape reels. Stand on the tips of your toes to see more. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and never plastic with a big old handle on top. Classic boombox that says, stereo rate approved. This is you. Golden orange. Sunset suit. Sweet. Interfacing. Just make sure it works before you buy it. Shopkeep. This stereo 8 approved machine here is the Harman Wolfschi W02 made in Vesper, designed in Seoul. He says, plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm, 8mm, 12. It's even got a little radio in there. I'll set you back 12 real. 12. Are you sure this is all in working order? And what I really want to know is, could this device come handy in my police work? If police work means playing tapes, sure, you can use it for that, or any other time you'd need to play tape. Like at a beach party, with sand and sun and seagulls dancing on the breeze. Turn to Kim. Theoretically, could I bring it to a beach party? Theoretically, yes, but we don't have time right now. It's generally murder investigation first, then beach party. He's very logical. Actually, all these, the first option and the second option are hilarious. Actually, but I'll go with the second. Actually, it doesn't have to be a beach with the boombox like that. I'll bring the party into the streets. Bird's Nest Troy. You can play it any way you like, and I guess since you're a police officer, no one can arrest you for yeah. Let's try the first option too. Well, nothing happened. No, I don't like beaches. They accumulate too many photons. It's always chaos out there, but live your life, man. You can use it at a beach party if you want. Are you sure this is all in working order? Absolutely. I've tested each on myself with recordings of speech, found sounds, and music from a variety of genres, even though he grimaces I don't really like music. That's odd. Why don't he like music? What's wrong? The stuff I record myself. Silverware shaking in drawers as motorcars race by. Nocturnal animals climbing on the roof, airship rotors, that kind of thing. So he is an ambient lover. I am totally okay with that. Maybe you should ditch music as well, get into these more experimental sounds. It's ambient, not experimental sounds. Okay, experimental ambient. That's all. And finally we can talk to him. It's not
often that I see officers of the RCM in my pawn shop.
The man at the corner turns to you slowly.
What can I do for you?
He asks. His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop. Sorry. I feel like I'm interrupting you.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately, RCM or otherwise.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travellers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
Quite the collection indeed. Let's go neutral.
It keeps me entertained.
His attention is drawn once more to the play of light and shadow on the walls behind you. Is Roy high? And if yes, then what's he on? You might be able to aid our investigation. By the way, do you happen to have any guns like the ones carried by officers of the citizens militia? I have other business to take care of now. You know what? I think we can improve our electrochemistry by changing the gloves. Yeah. Anything else that influences our electrochemistry? +2. Yeah, and now
Greetings on this fine night. What brings you here?
You do know that's not really a fine night. The weather's terrible. Or how come you're still open? It's cool that you're still open. Big city vibes. Yeah, this
The
one.
pawn shop is always open.
So 42% for this, please. Quick load. I'm going to be trying because it's interesting. I want to know if he's on drugs, not because I'm exactly planning to arrest him or something like that, but the game says it's possible to know. So, and it's an RPG game, so if it is
Greetings on
possible.
this fine night. What brings you here?
And now there are only 2 options. There were 3. Okay.
The pawn shop is always open.
Okay. Failure. I'm now curious, like, the gloves that I removed had interfacing +1.
Greetings on this fine night. The pawn shop is always open.
I got here. That's the 3rd time. Fail check. Well, it's not like in Gothic 3 you have to wait like 1 minute before you load, or in Torment Tides of Numenera, Killers of
Greetings
Eternity.
on this fine. The pawn shop
always
is
very
always
long.
open.
Whew. Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. It's probably on Pier Holidon. It's tough to come by on the street. Pirholidan, what's that? Drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects and it makes your eyes turn yellow. Is it just me or is it really warm in here? Look around. He tilts his head. Try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature. There's a note of indignation in his voice. Interesting. Those triangle patches on his vest, you have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle on your jacket. Point at his clothes. Say, what's with triangles on your vest? He hesitates. I was with the emergency relief brigade, you know, after the People's Pile disaster, he coughs, as if to mark his words. Had to take Pirholidan for radiation sickness. That's why you were hinting. That's what you were hinting at just now, wasn't it? Pain threshold. He is taking it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days. The People's Pile. What's that? Bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere, probably some of it in you too. The People's Pile was a Type U particle decay generator that failed immediately after entering service, releasing radioactive waste into River Esperance. What is a particle decay generator? A primitive nuclear reactor, also called a pile. Why is it called the People's Pile? Construction began during the Commune of Hevashal. The people continued work on it after the Commune fell. They wanted a cheap source of energy for Hevashal West. Needless to say, things didn't work out. Why did it fail? An emergency valve defect resulted in steam pressure blowing the turbine, taking the fuel containment vessel up in the explosion. Both the faulty design and lack of finances contributed to the catastrophe. Tell me more about this emergency relief brigade you were part of. He points at the right triangle on his orange safety jacket. We were an all-volunteer force, self-organized. Tried to help 5 brigades contain the spill. I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance did not have the heart to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the real mud. Years getting sick. He looks at the spiraling lights and stops. It must have been tough. Radioactive cleanup. He hesitates. There is a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointed, and early deaths, cancer mostly, and we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best as we could. Whose fault was it? Whose fault was it that the generator failed? No one's. Everyone's. He sighs and shakes his head. That's what I usually say about faults, like everyone is guilty, no one is guilty. So much bitterness. Bunch of poor people build themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen? How did you end up running a pawn shop? The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later my second aunt died, left me this shack and the sort of junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me, don't go there, it's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far from Faubourg as I can. Still in the same city, but... He shrugs. Thank you for telling me. He shrugs. I like theory more than story. Outward movement, not vortices. Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man. So... Care to share your Pirholidan with me? Have you tried it before? It's almost like he's worried for you. Lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. Looks like he doesn't want to get involved. Go ahead then, he thinks. As long as you can walk straight, I don't care. He won't be your narc. He won't be thrilled about this either. I actually don't like the options here. I asked just because I was curious. Okay, I haven't. If you say. Wait, why wouldn't I be sure? Because it's an anti-radiation drug and you're a cop, not a post-apocalyptic scavenger? Actually, I changed my mind. I don't need any pure Holidon. I respect your decision, officer. What else can I help you with? Let's leave. Save the game. Come back to the conversation.
Hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
You might be able to aid our investigation. I doubt it, but I can try to answer the questions you may have. Know anything about the recent hanging? I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone. He doesn't know anything, Drama says. Ever had any dealings with Everard Clare? He's been by the shop a couple of times. He gives a lazy half shrug. Actually, that's all I've got. The pawnbroker gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors. By the way, do you happen to have any guns like the ones carried by officers of the citizens' militia? Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back. This is a pawn shop and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh god. Lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert. Wait, I sold you my gun. You, with Kim here too? That just sounded really bad. You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer, he says. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Show citizens militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts for ton emissions. The unhealthy kind. He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you. I feel like there is something you're not telling me. He looks away. You weren't quite yourself, officer. What was I like? You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you couldn't trust yourself with it tonight and you need the money. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it. Wait, how much did I sell the gun for? 15 real. Wow. 15 real for a gun. The lieutenant looks from you to Roy and then back to you. It's clear that he hopes this tableau might still turn out to be a bad dream. It's not though. This has got to be the most... Wow. There is pity there too, in case you didn't notice. I'm going to say nothing. The light swirls in his face and glasses. He doesn't know what to say either. Was the buyer a policeman too? She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which is odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it and of her. Truth be told, she was terrifying. Right, so let me get this right. The lieutenant turns to you. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it. Empathy. Miraculously, his face doesn't reveal what's happening inside. I don't like it either. What if she intends to commit a crime and blame it on the citizens' militia? You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her. He looks around, worried. Any idea where I can find this buyer? My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went. Logic. A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do. There is nothing you can do about it now? A mistake. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow. Okay. At least now I know how I lost my sidearm. Yeah. And only need to know where is my badge. let's talk about something else. Life experience. I wanted to ask you about my missing gun again. Thanks for the review, nothing to ask. There is something I'd like to sell. Let me have a look. A fascinating photo of a corpse here. Show him the photo. Oh no, I don't like those kinds of objects. No sale. He barely even looks at it. Do you know what the tattoos mean? He frowns. Aphotic paths, counter-radiance networks, anti-magnetism. It's darkness, that's all I know. Sell me something lighter. I'm surprised that Kim didn't cut in and prevent me from even opening my mouth about this photo. You have absolutely no idea what aphotic paths are, but the tattoos on the man are not that, says my rhetoric. I'd like to sell my clothes. I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment. He looks you up and down quickly. Suddenly his gaze fixes on your tie. He steps back from the glass. And especially that tie, it swallows photons around it. I have no need for necrotic objects. Horrific tie. Your mother is a necrotic object. I'm fun. Look at me sparkle in the light of the projector. I think it's... Sorry. I think I'm nearing the time when I'm going to call this a stream, but not yet. I still have some vocal cords. I'll check my pockets. Access your pawn menu. So this is 1 real. This is not serious. I don't have anything to sell. Let's leave. That wasn't very fruitful, I must say. I earned nothing, but I learned where my gun is. What's next? And still 2 o'clock at night. Exciting. Why was that conversation with the woman? Why there is fog of war all the time? I thought I explored the area. That is nonsensical. I mean, it's interesting that the game hides the map from you. Maybe it's because it's night. Maybe during the day it doesn't happen. At night it's logical. Yeah. So there was this door where the old lady didn't want to let me in. This one, right? Right. But I won't get in. Now, what I am curious about is if it was Joyce who bought my gun.
You're back. Good. What can...
No, there is no option. But who could have bought my gun? A lady. Not Joyce. Not Joyce. Who could that be? There's some kids. So, I've tried this door, right? Yeah. So, I need to... What's with this wall? Splattering of bullet holes on this wall. You know what? I have an idea about this bell. About this bell that didn't let us in during the daytime. Maybe at night there is someone there and we can actually get in. Let's try our chances. What if it works? So nothing. No one answers. Nobody. Nothing. 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 Empty card. leave. Okay, so that means that we have to... And how do we get here? I wonder. To the top floor. There must be a way to the top, right? So I'll have to start trying my chances with jumping, for which I need to... But what if I cannot, like, if I cannot jump? And I cannot sleep anywhere and still clock and nothing changes in the game? Like a dead end? I mean, of course it can't be a dead end, because the game is not supposed to work like that. But I'm curious, like, if it's not for this, like, save load tactics of mine that I'm going to employ, and there is money, I guess. Yeah, money. Woohoo! So, if it's not for this save load tactics, then maybe there is something else which I haven't noticed. There are a lot of quests. Clothes in the trash, track your gun, track everything. A lot of tasks to complete, none of which I can complete. We need to remove our shoes again and our pants to improve our savoir-faire to 1 point. Can I somehow improve it? No, I cannot. Okay, quick save. And let's take our chances. 28%. Well, it's kinda... Okay, I get it. I get it, you don't have to proceed. Stop, stop. I get it. No, enough, man. Policeman cloak, let's load the game. Yeah. 28%. It's not that low. It's probably doable. If... Look at that. Again, fog of war. Everywhere. Like I didn't save. Is it a glitch? Don't understand. Fail again. And why do I take, like, health damage, I wonder, when jumping here? Why is it so? I slept after 21. Health and morale. What if I went to bed at, like, 9 o'clock without asking the manager? Come on, man, this is the 5th time it's happening? Taking into account the previous attempts? I don't know. Next time. Yeah, damaged health, I get it. I don't care about my critical health. Take breaks, talk to strangers, explore. So... Another attempt. 28%. No. This is... I'm going to try it 3 more times, and if it doesn't work, I'll call it a stream and try next time, because I don't think my mind can operate clearly anymore, because it's... Oh! Right? As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses. Close your eyes, let senses take the world around you. Continue voyage through the salty air. As the concrete floor welcomes you, you realize it's been a while since you felt so alive, alert, capable. Must be the adrenaline. Hell yeah, Lieutenant exclaims. My climbing might not have been as disco as your jump, but can we still get an aces high? With your feet firmly planted on the concrete, the noise on harbor rushes back in. So we are at this new location. My RCM patrol cloak. We got it. Great. Which says, hey, can I explore my pockets? What's that? Huh? What about pockets? He said there was something inside pockets. Alright. Nothing. That's too bad. So I'm going to save the game here. But not on quick save, because what if we are locked in this location, and that's not gonna be good. Thanks everyone for watching, and that was very rich with information again. I read a lot. Hopefully you didn't find this irritating. I'll come back to the stream. I mean, the next time will be probably tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. Depends. Yeah, but very soon. Yeah, Elder, thank you very much for being here with me. It's so inspiring. I mean, that I'm not alone here. So yeah, have a good night. See you next time. Bye bye.